Hi guys, Cam for 15 back it up with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Blue Box episode review for you guys as we are continuing on. Obviously, this video is coming out on Wednesday, the day before the newest episode comes out on Thursday, and we get the fallout coming out of the episode where Taiki ended up losing in the tournament, and we kind of see, I guess you can say, his troubles over the event and his struggles of getting over um the loss. And then you kind of have it's your typical romance anime 2 trope where main male character or main female character is sick, and then it continues the trend of the two main characters starting to fall for each other and things like that. But solid episode. Really the good juicy stuff doesn't happen till basically the part where, the whole Chinatsu is taking care of him while he's sick type of thing. So we basically start the episode off. You would think like it would pick up where it last left off. Now we do get a little bit of a like recap of the end of last week's episode, where he walks in, he hears that Chinatsu's team made it to nationals, and then he rethinks the fact that he basically got defeated in the first round. Um, and then he runs off. We don't exactly find out where he ran off to. Like, I don't know if this is like further expounded upon in the source material. Like, I don't know if it shows where he goes and the anime just cut it out. I don't know. Pretty shocking that they didn't show where he ran to, but basically they pick up where he last left off, or where he is the next couple of days, and he's in school. Their school's having their finals come up, so basically a good like a major point of the first half is them just preparing for their finals and studying and everything. It's funny because they walk in, they see Hina, and Hina just gives this like dirty look, like, don't bother me while I'm trying to study over here. So you kind of get that. And also Hina's kind of also watching Taiki from afar. Like, she talks to the one friend of Taiki, and she basically makes the mention of like, he seems pretty fine after considering the way he lost. And even his friend's like, yeah, I'm pretty shocked of how good he's been taking it. um so you have that whole situation there. And then you have like their badminton team essentially announce some awards and things like that, or some announcement, which it's that Kango or Haryu is going to go to nationals. So, he's going to try his best. And then they have this thing where they put these like dreams or these goals that they're looking forward. I'm guessing that's the end of their season, to look forward to, I guess, next year. And what's his face? Taiki's goal, you would think it would be to make nationals, because that's been his whole goal, the first 7 episodes to get to nationals. But his was basically like getting his shots more precise, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the thing, right then and there. Now you just have it to where, he's studying and everything. um you know and he starts to get a little bit ill and sick because of it. And essentially what happens is he ends up having a fever. His head's basically hurting, you know he's basically sick, and things like that. He then recalls everything that he's been through, basically the fact of the national stuff, and then his match, and then everything he's had with Chinatsu going on. And he basically goes on to say how like worthless he is, and the fact that he couldn't live up to what he said he was going to do. And he basically says that he's lame. But then that's when Shinatsu comes in, says like, no, you're not. And she's in his room. He gets a little bit flustered. Well, first she feels his forehead, seeing that like, you're burning up, you have a fever. And he basically is just like, what the hell, what are you doing here? And basically she's like, well, your mom's not here and I'm here, so let me make you some soup to make you feel better. So you get your typical thing where, oh, female characters taking care of our main character, which who, because he's sick and everything, she puts a cold pack on his head. She's making him like this beef stew essentially. The funny thing is she's wearing like just a jacket, and then she's wearing, I wouldn't say booty shorts, but she's wearing like those shorts that typically, those like athletic super short shorts that girls typically wear, especially if they wear around the house more than likely. But I've been seeing it when I was like, playing sports and everything. I would see like, say like the girls volleyball team or the girls track team wear shorts like that, as they're basically, it's like those athletic short stuff. It's nothing like, I guess, fan servicing and everything. So yeah, anyways, Taiki eats the food. He thinks it's good. She basically was like, "Look, let me know if if there's anything else you need and anything." And she's basically staying in the room, because Taiki's like, "You can go." And she's like, "No, just gonna stay here and make sure you're okay and everything, right?" Which is good of her. Like, it's funny. Now, she actually brings up the fact, she's like, "Well, since your tournament's done, um, is there something that you wanted to tell me? Because you said after your tournament you wanted to tell me something." And the reason, and Taiki, he is not saying what he wants, which we know was going. His whole thing was he was going to ask Chinatsu out on a date, essentially, but because he felt, excuse me, my goodness, hiccups at this late at night. But because he feels like a burden or something, because of the way he lost, he feels like it's not worth it to ask and everything. Now personally, I'm just like, dude, just ask her, like, you want to go out with her. Like, I don't think that's going to change anything. Um so then she responds by saying like, "Okay, can I ask you something?" Now she talks about the fact that he saw his message, from the badminton team's goals, and she said like, "I thought you would have said like, you wanted to make nationals, and everything." Now she said she wants to or she's asking like why he didn't say that. Now Taiki responds by saying, "Well, there was a number of times in my match that I thought, if I only landed the one smash in his match, that he felt like maybe nationals would, he thought like in his match, like with the one guy, if he got a hit and got a point off, maybe that could have helped." And he basically said like, maybe nationals, is out of my reach because, I realized there were so many players that are better than me. And essentially he goes and say like, "You learned how tough nationals can be when you're a freshman, but you were basically still prepared to take it on." And he goes in to say like, "Look, I just went there because I wanted to win," which honestly, I think that's a good mindset. You should, as an athlete, you should always want to win and everything. And that's the thing about, like I said, last week, where, the best thing for athletes is you can suffer these types of disappointments, but it gives you chance to reflect and see what are the weaknesses in your game so you can get better. And then when you get better, you'll be able to somehow overcome what you needed to overcome. She somewhat kind of smirks or laughs about it and everything. So she ends up talking about like, you know, she saw that he was clearly upset and everything and bothered by the fact that he lost, that she was actually pretty shocked. Like, "I'm shocked that you didn't really show that emotion, but it's nice to know that you were pretty disappointed and you were upset." So yeah. Now she goes on to say, having a lofty goal while still, she says it's a new you. Having a lofty goal while still seeing yourself as you are. So that's the cool thing. She goes on to talk about herself. There was always a little voice in her head telling me that I was out of her depth, but she thought she basically overcame that. And it's like I said earlier, like, it's good advice. She's basically like, "Look, I had those same feelings like you did, where I was telling myself like, I can't do this. I think I hit my limit, but by getting better and practicing and putting in the work, she got better to where she's at now." And it's like, it's nice that she's given nice advice to Taiki right there, and she's being for him. And it's only gonna get him to improve, because it's like the girl you like is telling you, things that you need to hear. And she even says like, "I don't want you to be afraid to have like these lofty goals. Like, strive for the best because it's only going to fuel you to even get better and practice harder and get better. So it's a nice bonding moment between the two, and you just have it to where the episode ends off where, she's getting her stuff out the way. She's getting the stuff, realistically out the way. And then basically she she trips over herself. She starts to fall over. Taiki goes to catch her, and then they fall on the bed, on his bed together, and they're basically, well, she's on top of him, and they're looking at each other, and they're just basically shocked, and they're just like, oh, and that's where the episode ends off, and it's just like, oh wow, okay, this is very interesting. And actually, as I'm seeing the episode, he's the one that trips because he wants to help her out. But then she literally falls on top of him, hand on his chest and everything. She's looking at him and he's looking at her, and it's just like, what the hell's going on? Now, the only thing that can ruin this moment is Taiki's mom just walking in on them and saying like, Taiki, are you okay? And then she sees this, she's like, oh, I didn't know you two were that close. Okay. Um, like all I know is that moment is gonna it's definitely going to get them both feeling some sort of way. Well, we already know how Taiki feels about Chinatsu, but maybe again, I feel like we've gotten some hints as to Chinatsu potentially liking Taiki back. But it seems like this could be where like she starts to show a lot of flusteredness, and Taiki can probably tell it and everything. And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But another solid episode of Blue Box. Really, obviously, with this cliffhanger of Chinatsu on top of. Well, she wasn't really on top of our boy, but you get what I mean. She's like looking down on him as if she was on top of him. But I don't think it's gonna result in like obviously your kiss moment. It's gonna be like, oh, they're both flustered and they're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Yeah, your typical thing. But it's gonna be interesting. I'm glad that we're seeing, seemingly enough, we're picking up the pace a little bit on the relationship, because I don't know how long Blue Box is going. I think it's gonna be going for about 12, 13 episodes, and it's like, I would really like to start getting the relationship stuff. Not to say that the sports stuff isn't good. Like I love sports and I like sports stuff, but I want to see the romance. I want to see the romance blossom. So maybe next week will be the start to where maybe Chinatsu starts to see. I won't say see or start to maybe. I won't say fall for our boy Taiki yet, but at least maybe develop some feelings to where she's just getting flustered when she's around him because of this moment. Because remember, from a few episodes ago, she took a bite of his chicken because she was obviously jealous of the fact that Hina did the same thing. And as much as she believes or thinks that Hina may like Taiki, which that's the case, and and the fact that she's trying to give them some space, deep down, it's like the saying goes, the heart wants what the heart wants. And it's clear, she doesn't like the fact that Taiki, this girl, is clearly hitting on Taiki, and she's maybe thinking like, well, what if it's me and Taiki? So we'll see. We will definitely see where it goes. Another solid episode of Blue Box. Definitely can't wait to see where the next episode goes for episode 10, and things like that. So yeah, definitely see where it's gonna go. But anyways, catch you guys next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or night. I'm gonna check this video. Till then, guys, peace.